the world just witnessed a moment so jaw-dropping it shattered the internet. In a shocking turn that nobody saw coming, Traci Braxton's husband has reportedly disowned his own son, Kevin Jr., and the reason has left millions speechless. This isn't tabloid exaggeration, arse. This is real-time family explosion caught on live TV. Right as cameras rolled on a nationally televised talk show, Kevin Jr. walked onto the stage with swagger. But what he said next wasn't swagger. It was straight-up disrespect, aimed directly at his father, right in front of the world. The crowd gasped. Studio lights flickered as viewers watched what insiders are already calling the most explosive family confrontation in reality TV history. Sources say the comments cut deeper than any insult ever heard in celebrity drama. They struck at pride, legacy, and respect itself. And Traci's husband, a man known for being calm, composed, and a pillar of strength, snapped. Not metaphorically, not in a dramatic storyline twist. He literally disowned his own son on live television. This wasn't a staged moment. This wasn't editing. This was raw, unfiltered emotional devastation broadcast into millions of homes. Fans are flooding social platforms. Twitter's on fire with #disownment. Instagram stories are blowing up with clips of Kevin Jr.'s controversial remarks. TikTok reaction videos are already trending. And the fallout? It's just beginning. The tension didn't start on stage. It started backstage, in whispers, in tight jawlines, in producers suddenly lowering their voices when certain names were mentioned. According to multiple viral clips circulating online, the confrontation between Traci Braxton's widower and his son, Kevin Jr., didn't come out of nowhere. It was simmering, quiet, personal, and deeply emotional. For context, after the heartbreaking passing of Traci Braxton, the Braxton family dynamic shifted in ways fans could see. And in ways they couldn't. Grief does strange things to people. It exposes cracks. It magnifies unresolved wounds. And if social media speculation is even halfway accurate, those cracks had been widening for months before this alleged live TV eruption. The taping was supposed to be a tribute segment, a reflective healing moment honouring Traci's legacy. The lights were warm. The audience was respectful. The energy at first felt somber and united. Then Kevin Jr. spoke. Clips that have since gone viral show him responding to a question about family unity. His tone, viewers say, wasn't soft. It wasn't nostalgic. It was sharp, direct. Some are calling it brutally honest. Others are calling it outright disrespectful. He allegedly referenced mistakes, resentment, and unfinished business within the household. He implied that certain decisions made after his mother's passing weren't in her best interest. He questioned leadership, authority, motives, and he did it while his father sat only feet away. The camera reportedly cut to Kevin Sr.'s face at least twice, his expression shifting from controlled to visibly stunned. Audience members say you could feel the temperature in the room drop. One insider who claims to have been present said, "It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. That's what set it off." Because grief is complicated. But public disrespect? That's combustible. According to online speculation and audience accounts, Kevin Sr. attempted to interject calmly at first. He reportedly said something along the lines of, "This isn't the time or place." But Kevin Jr. continued. And this is where the narrative explodes. Several social media users claim Kevin Jr. brought up financial disagreements. He allegedly referenced disputes about estate management and posthumous decisions. He suggested that transparency had been lacking. He implied betrayal. None of these claims have been officially verified, and no full unedited footage has been released. But the snippets circulating online were enough to ignite chaos. Because in that moment, what was supposed to be a tribute reportedly turned into confrontation. Audience members began murmuring. Producers shifted nervously behind cameras. One clip shows a host attempting to redirect the conversation. But it was too late. Kevin Sr., according to viewers, stood up. And what he allegedly said next is what has the internet in a frenzy. "You don't speak to me like that, not ever." The words weren't shouted, they were cold. And then, the line that fans can't stop replaying. "If that's how you feel, then you don't have to call me father anymore." Now, let's be clear. There is no official statement confirming that he legally disowned his son. There are no court filings, no press releases, no documented legal severance. But emotionally, according to those watching, it felt like disownment in real time. The audience gasped. One woman can be heard saying, "Oh my God." Kevin Jr.'s expression reportedly shifted from defiance to disbelief. Some say he laughed nervously. Others say he looked wounded. And then the stage went quiet. A silence so thick you could hear the air conditioning. Producers allegedly cut to commercial early. Now, since that taping, the fallout has been relentless. Clips are trending across every platform. TikTok users are analysing body language frame by frame. Twitter threads are dissecting tone, posture, eye contact. Team Kevin Jr. supporters argue that he was simply speaking his truth. That grief doesn't excuse silence. That accountability matters even on uncomfortable stages. Team Kevin Sr. supporters argue that there is a time and place for family disputes. And national television isn't it. They say airing grievances publicly crossed a line of respect that can't easily be walked back. And then there's the deeper layer. Because this isn't just about a disagreement. This is about a family that has already endured enormous loss. A mother gone, a wife gone, a foundation shaken. When grief mixes with unresolved tension, it doesn't whisper, it erupts. An alleged family friend commented anonymously on a gossip blog, claiming, "There were conversations that should have happened privately months ago, but pride kept both sides from sitting down." If that's true, then what happened on that stage wasn't spontaneous. It was pressure finally exploding. Another twist? Rumours are circulating that this wasn't the first heated exchange between father and son. According to online speculation, disagreements over public appearances, interviews and control of Traci's legacy had been building behind the scenes. Again, none of this has been confirmed by either party directly. But perception is powerful. And right now, her perception says something fractured publicly that may be difficult to repair privately. What makes this even more intense is the emotional optics. Viewers are watching a widower and a son, both grieving the same woman, stand on opposite sides of a battlefield neither one likely wanted to be on. The internet loves drama. But this feels different. This feels personal. This feels raw. And now the biggest question looms. Was this a temporary emotional snap, or was this a permanent break? Because words spoken in anger can echo long after the cameras stop rolling. As of now, neither Kevin Sr. nor Kevin Jr. has issued a formal statement clarifying the disownment narrative. There have been cryptic social media posts, vague quotes about loyalty and truth, but no direct confirmation or denial, which only fuels speculation further. Behind the scenes, insiders claim producers are scrambling. If the full unedited episode airs, it could intensify the firestorm. If it's heavily edited, fans will accuse them of covering up the confrontation. Either way, this story is far from over. Because family conflicts don't resolve with applause. They linger, they fester, and sometimes they change relationships forever. And according to sources close to the situation, what happened after the cameras cut may have been even more explosive than what viewers saw. When the cameras cut to commercial, the real explosion allegedly began. Multiple audience members who claim they were present say the tension didn't dissolve when the red light went off. It escalated. According to one viral TikTok account run by someone who insists they were seated 3 rows back, Kevin Jr. He stood up immediately after the commercial break announcement and said something that wasn't picked up by the live mic, but was picked up by nearby cell phones. The alleged phrase, "So now you want to act like a father?" That sentence alone sent shockwaves through social media once it started circulating in fragmented audio form. The clip is muffled, the context is incomplete, but the tone, sharp, frustrated, years of something bottled up. And that's when, according to multiple online accounts, Kevin Sr. turned fully toward his son, no longer addressing the audience, no longer conscious of cameras, and responded off-mic in what one bystander described as controlled fury. An anonymous production assistant allegedly messaged a gossip blog claiming Kevin Sr. said, "I buried your mother. You will not bury me." If that line is accurate, it wasn't just anger, it was pain. And that's what makes this entire situation so volatile. This isn't petty celebrity shade. This is unresolved grief colliding with pride on a public stage. After the taping reportedly wrapped early, security escorted both men to separate dressing rooms. Sources claim producers tried to broker a private conversation before they left the building. But according to insiders, Kevin Jr. declined. Instead, within hours of the taping, he went live on social media. That live stream, which has since been clipped, reposted and dissected into oblivion, showed Kevin Jr. pacing, emotional, defensive, hurt. He didn't mention his father by name, but he didn't have to. "I'm not disrespectful," he said at one point. "I'm honest. And sometimes honesty makes people uncomfortable." Viewers flooded the chat with support and criticism in equal measure. Some praised him for speaking his truth. Others accused him of weaponizing grief. Then came the moment that truly ignited speculation. Kevin Jr. said, "I've been quiet for years. Not anymore." Years. Plural. That implies this wasn't about one disagreement. It suggests history. Meanwhile, Kevin Sr. remained silent publicly, at least at first. But the silence didn't last long. The following day, a cryptic Facebook post appeared on his page. It read, "Respect is not optional, even in pain." No tags. No elaboration. The comments section exploded instantly. Supporters rallied behind him, saying fathers deserve respect regardless of disagreements. Others accused him of deflecting instead of addressing whatever concerns Kevin Jr. had raised. Then the most explosive rumor yet began circulating. An entertainment blogger with alleged connections to extended family members claimed that estate management disagreements had been simmering since shortly after Traci's passing. According to this unverified report, Kevin Jr. believed certain decisions about appearances, tributes, and public branding were rushed. There is no official documentation confirming this claim. No court disputes. No public filings. But perception doesn't require paperwork. It requires timing. And the timing of this confrontation, on live television during a tribute, made it feel less like an accident and more like a breaking point. Another twist? A supposed text message screenshot began circulating from someone saved as Dad. The message allegedly read, "You crossed a line today." The authenticity of the screenshot has not been verified. It could be fabricated, but it added gasoline to a fire that was already burning out of control. Meanwhile, fans began pulling old clips from family reality appearances, looking for signs of tension that may have been overlooked. Every sideways glance, every awkward pause, every forced smile is now being reinterpreted as foreshadowing. And here's where it gets even heavier. A family acquaintance allegedly told an online tabloid that both father and son have been grieving very differently. Kevin Sr. reportedly leaned into public appearances and structured tributes as a coping mechanism. Kevin Jr., according to the same source, "I preferred privacy and processing away from cameras." If that's true, then their clash isn't just about respect. It's about two grieving men navigating loss in incompatible ways. Grief doesn't come with instructions, and when one person grieves quietly and another grieves publicly, misunderstandings can turn into resentment. But airing that resentment live on television, that's the part people can't move past. Because no matter which side you're on, the optics were brutal. A father appearing to disown his son. A son appearing to challenge his father's integrity. In front of millions. Now the extended family is reportedly feeling the aftershocks. According to online speculation, relatives are attempting to mediate privately. No one wants this to spiral further. But mediation is complicated when pride has already been wounded publicly. Then came another layer. A well-known radio personality hinted on air that there may have been a financial misunderstanding fueling the tension. Not necessarily wrongdoing, but miscommunication. Again, nothing confirmed. But the suggestion alone added complexity. Because now the public is debating not just respect, but trust. And trust, once questioned, is hard to rebuild. The most heartbreaking part? Both men have publicly expressed love for Traci countless times. Both have spoken about honouring her memory. Yet now her name is being dragged into headlines about division. Fans are divided. Some believe Kevin Jr. was brave for confronting issues openly. Others believe certain conversations should remain behind closed doors. And then there's the silent majority watching and thinking, what happens now? Because disownment, even if emotional and not legal, leaves scars. And the final twist of part 2. Late last night, Kevin Jr. posted a single sentence to his Instagram story. Blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. It disappeared after 24 hours, but screenshots never disappear. And that line has left everyone asking one question. Is reconciliation still possible? Or did that live TV moment permanently fracture a family already broken by loss? The silence that followed was louder than anything either of them said on stage. For nearly 48 hours after Kevin Jr.'s "Blood doesn't guarantee loyalty" post vanished, there were no lives, no new captions, no interviews. Just tension hanging in the air like unfinished business. And that's when the speculation hit a fever pitch. Because when people stop talking publicly, it usually means they're talking privately. According to a blogger who claims to have spoken with someone very close to the family, there was an emergency sit-down arranged behind closed doors. No cameras, no producers, just father and son, and allegedly one neutral relative acting as mediator. If that meeting happened, no one has confirmed it. But the rumour alone set social media ablaze, because reconciliation would mean the disownment was emotional, not permanent. But if reconciliation failed, then what we saw on that stage may have been the beginning of a long-term separation. Meanwhile, clips from the original live show keep resurfacing, slowed down, zoomed in, analysed like forensic evidence. People are dissecting Kevin Sr.'s posture when he stood up. They're analysing Kevin Jr.'s facial expression when the "you don't have to call me father anymore" line allegedly landed. Some viewers insist Kevin Sr.'s voice cracked. Others argue Kevin Jr. looked more hurt than defiant. And that's the part that's haunting people now. Because beneath the drama, beneath the gossip, beneath the viral hashtags, this is a grieving family. A husband who lost his wife, a son who lost his mother. Two men hurting in completely different ways. And colliding in the worst possible place. But then came the twist no one expected. A short clip began circulating from a completely different angle, one not broadcast on the live show. In the clip, after the confrontation, Kevin Jr. can be seen stepping toward his father as if to continue speaking. Not aggressively, but emotionally. The audio is unclear, but the body language tells a different story than the headlines. It doesn't look like hatred, it looks like heartbreak. That changed the tone online almost instantly. Now people aren't just debating disrespect, they're debating pain. Because what if Kevin Jr.'s outburst wasn't rebellion? What if it was unresolved grief boiling over? And what if Kevin Sr.'s disownment line wasn't abandonment? What if it was exhaustion? An alleged source close to the situation told a small podcast they both feel betrayed, just in different ways. That line stuck, because betrayal implies broken expectations, Maybe Kevin Jr. expected something from his father after Traci passed that he didn't receive. Maybe Kevin Sr. expected respect during a tribute and felt blindsided instead. Neither narrative has been officially confirmed, but the emotional reality feels undeniable. Then, late last night, something subtle happened. Kevin Sr. updated his profile picture. Not a new photo, an old one. A picture of him, Traci, and Kevin Jr. smiling together years ago. No caption, no statement, just the photo. And suddenly, the narrative shifted again. Was that an olive branch? A reminder? A silent acknowledgement that family history matters more than public conflict? Within minutes, comments flooded in. Fix this privately. Your wife wouldn't want this. Family first. And here's where it gets even more layered. Kevin Jr. hasn't removed his last livestream from his page. He hasn't apologized. He hasn't doubled down either. He's simply been quiet. And quiet can mean processing, or it can mean standing firm. So the media outlets have started using stronger language now. Family fracture, public fallout, emotional disownment. But no legal action has been taken, no official estrangement announced. Which leaves one burning question. Was the disowning real, or was it said in the heat of a moment that spiraled too far? Because words spoken on live television don't disappear. They replay, they echo, they get captioned, clipped, dramatized. And even if both men want to move forward privately, the public memory remains. There's also a deeper, uncomfortable truth that many fans are now acknowledging. Reality and live television create pressure. Producers ask leading questions. Emotions get heightened. Moments get magnified. Or it's possible that what might have been a tense but manageable family disagreement became explosive because cameras were present. One industry insider commented anonymously, "Television amplifies everything. Pain gets louder. Pride gets sharper." And that amplification may have cost this family something they can't easily retrieve: privacy. Right now, neither father nor son has confirmed permanent separation. Neither has issued a formal disownment statement. But the emotional damage from that moment is undeniable. And perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this entire situation is that it unfolded during what was meant to be a tribute, a celebration of Traci's legacy. Instead, it became a reminder of how fragile families can become under grief and public scrutiny. As of now, fans are waiting for a joint statement, waiting for reconciliation, waiting for a sign that the fracture isn't permanent. Because beneath the drama, people don't want a feud. They want healing. They want a father and son to find common ground after unimaginable loss. But healing doesn't trend. Conflict does. And that's why this story exploded the way it did. The final question isn't whether Kevin Sr. disowned Kevin Jr., it's whether those words were meant to last, or whether behind closed doors 2 grieving men are already trying to take them back. And if they are, the public may never see that part, but it would be the most important chapter of all. If you've been watching this unfold and feeling torn, you're not alone. This isn't just celebrity drama. This is grief, pride, pain, and family playing out in front of millions. And the truth is, what we saw on that stage might not even be the full story. So now I want to hear from you. Was that moment real disownment? Or a father speaking out of hurt? Was Kevin Jr. disrespectful? Or finally, expressing bottled-up pain? And most importantly, can something like this be fixed once it goes public? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's talk about it respectfully, because at the end of the day, this is a real family dealing with real loss. If you want continued updates, especially if either of them releases a statement, goes live again, or confirms what really happened behind the scenes, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next development, because if reconciliation happens, or if this escalates even further, you're going to want to hear it first. Stay locked in. This story isn't over, and the next move could change everything.